the NFL has announced their Pro Bowlers for this year or this season, and it's interesting, predictable but interesting. So we're gonna go over a couple of them, or all of them really. So we're gonna start with the quarterbacks, right? So we got for the NFC, Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff. AFC, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. All right. We'll come back when I announce all these because there's a lot. We'll come back and talk about them. But long snappers, we got from the Vikings to represent the NFC, Andrew DePola. I'm going to butcher a lot of these names, and I apologize in advance. AFC is from the Jags. The Jags got a Pro Bowler, Ross Masick, right? Kick returners from NFC, Cavante Turpin from the Cowboys, AFC Marvin Mims Jr. from the Broncos, punters. We have from the Detroit Lions, Jack Fox. For the AFC for the Jags, another Pro Bowler, Logan Cookie. Special teams from Atlanta, Kadero Hodge. AFC, we got Brandon Schooler from the Patriots. So even the Patriots have a Pro Bowler. NFC from the Cowboys, Brandon Aubrey, and from the Steelers, Chris Boswell. Strong safeties, we have Buda Baker from the Cardinals, Brian Branch from the Lions. For the AFC, we have Kyle Hamilton from the Ravens, Derwin James from the Chargers. Free safeties, we have Xavier McKinney from the Packers. We have Minka Fitzpatrick from the Steelers. Cornerbacks from the NFC, we have Jalen Johnson, Byron Murphy, Jace Horn, Devin Witherspoon. AFC, we have Derek Stingley Jr. from the Texans, Pat Surtain II from the Broncos, Marlon Humphreys from the Ravens, and Denzel Ward from the Browns. For outside linebackers, for NFC, we have Jonathan Grenard from Vikings, Andrew Van Ginkel from the Vikings, Jared Verse from the Rams. For the AFC, we have Nick Bonitio from the Broncos, TJ Watt from the Steelers, Khalil Mack from the Chargers. Shout out to Khalil Mack. Inside/middle linebackers, we have for the NFC, Fred Warner from the Niners, Zach Braun from the Philadelphia Eagles. Zach Braun has been playing a hell of a season. I'm really happy he got in. Roquan Smith from the Ravens, and then Zaire Franklin from the Colts. Defensive ends for the NFC, we have Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary. Gary. AFC, we have Myles Garrett, Trey Henderson, Max Crosby. Interior linemen, we have Jalen Carter, Derek Lawrence II, Vita Vea. AFC, we have Cameron Hayward, Chris Jones, and for the Ravens, my Nigerian brethren. Wow. Oh, yeah, Nadami Metabuke. Guards for, not Eagles, he's on the Eagles, but NFC, Landon Dickerson, Chris Langstrom, Tyler Smith. For the AFC, we have Quentin Nelson, Trey Smith, Joe Tooney. Centers, we have Cam Jurgens, Frank Ragnow. AFC, we got Creed Humphreys, Tyler Lindenbaum from the Ravens. NFC, for tackles, we have Lane Johnson, Penny Swell, Tristan Wirfs. AFC, we have Dion Dawkins, Rashawn Slater, Laramie Tunsil. Shout out to Laramie Tunsil, one of the best offensive linemen in the league. Tight ends, we have George Kittle and Trey McBride. AFC, we have Brock Bowers. Wow, a rookie. Wow, nice. And then Travis Kelce, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about in a second. Wide receivers, we have Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, Amon-Ra St. Brown for the NFC. AFC, we have Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Zay Flowers. Shout out to Zay Flowers. Jerry Jeudy. Running backs, I think it's second last is the running backs. Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Jacobs. AFC, we have Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor. Fullbacks, we have I can never pronounce the dude from the 49ers, Kyle Juszczyk, and then Patrick Ricard for the Ravens. And that is the full Pro Bowl lineup. So let's go with quarterbacks, right? So quarterbacks, again, we have Jay McDaniels, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff for the NFC. Not surprised with that. I think Jaden Daniels getting a Pro Bowl nod in his rookie year is justified because they're in the playoffs. He's played up and down, but for the majority of the season, very phenomenal. Um, and he's proven. I mean, he changed the culture in Washington. He changed the culture in that organization. They believe that they can win as long as Five's out there. Like he gives them hope. And when you do that in your rookie season, CJ Stroud did it. Good things happen. So there's that. Sam Darnold played outstanding. He played outstanding. Um, and honestly, Sam Darnold gets a lot of hate. He gets a lot of hate for no reason. People are like, Sam Darnold, like, he doesn't deserve a contract that big. He doesn't. Listen, he is tied for first in the AFC North. He's played very well. He started the season like 5-0. Yeah, he has some interceptions, but I mean, other than Lamar Jackson, who only has 4 on the season, has 40 plus TDs, which is not normal. Sam Darnold's playing very well. I mean, look what his career started. And also, Sam Darnold's age, like, don't let it fool you about how long he's been in the league. He's younger than a lot of guys. You'd be actually surprised how old Sam Darnold, like, compared to the average quarterback in the league right now. Like, he's actually younger than a lot of guys, or like right there. He's not some elder statesman in the league. For Sam Darnold, so you'd be actually very shocked. And that's kind of like what happens when we put so much expectation on rookies and they don't pan out right away, especially because usually when you're a high draft pick quarterback, you're going to the worst team in the league or one of the worst teams in the league. And he unfortunately happened to go to the New York Jets, who get their who they're going to trade for and not based off Madden overalls apparently. So you can't succeed in an organization like that. I mean, they're making Aaron Rodgers look. I mean, Aaron Rodgers making himself look that way. But look what happened to Aaron Rodgers, who just came off an MVP, like kind of like not that far moved from a back-to-back MVP. I think he went back-to-back MVP, but either way, MVP season not too long ago. So like, you see that. Granted, he had a major injury last season, but either way, yeah. So Sam Darnold, Jared Goff. I mean, the record, what he's doing, you know. Except that game where he was like threw like 5 interceptions or something, which I think they still won anyway, or got close to winning. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. I mean, speaks for themselves. I don't really have to go into that too much. I do want to say something about kick returners. I do like this. Cavante Turpin is really good from the Cowboys. He is really dangerous. Like I like really looking at I don't really watch Cowboy games that much because I don't like the Cowboys, but I do appreciate great players no matter what team they're on. And every single time they punt or kick the ball to this dude, he is dangerous. Like he's one of those do not kick to him. Like I haven't seen someone with this much danger potential with getting the ball in open field like this since like, and I really, he's a Hall of Famer now, but I really am seeing some stuff is oh my God, the dude from the Cowboys, the Bears. Oh, I'm forgetting his name. Man, I don't know. I just like blanked on his name. Devin Hester. Did have to look it up. Devin Hester. Since Devin Hester, he has like really dangerous return. He's really elusive in kick and punt returns. So I'm really liking that. So I'm happy he's getting some shine in the Pro Bowl. I know they the Pro Bowl because how it's played these days and all pros kind of matter more distinguished, I guess. And this has a lot of fan voting and stuff like that based off some of these things we'll talk about in a second. I understand why people are going to hate or not care about the Pro Bowl. I like it because I like to go old school and just think like the Pro Bowl means something. And based on some of the reactions today, it means something to some of these players. So I like to talk about. I thought it'd be fun to talk about regardless. I want to talk about free safeties. Xavier McKinney should have been a New York Giant still. He would have been like our best defensive player. We let him go for nothing. So shout out to the Packers for believing in him because for some reason Giants didn't want to. Let me see. Notice I didn't say any New Orleans Saints players. Not one Pro Bowl selection. New England Patriots at least had one or two. Jaguars had 2. You couldn't get one Pro Bowl on that team when you have Cam Jordan and a lot of these other players. That tells me everything I need to know about the Saints organization and Derek Carr and the head coach. Well, no, head coach already left, right? Yeah, he got fired. Derek Carr got to go. It's done. Derek Carr got to go. Go get some better receivers. Go get yourself a quarterback. If I'm the Saints, I'm doing everything I possibly can, to trade up in the draft and go get me a legitimate quarterback. After I go get a head coach, I'll go get a head coach. I'd go get Mike Vrabel. I would get Mike Vrabel. I would then tell him, hey, or whoever the GM is, you're going to trade players and assets to get the highest draft pick we possibly can, because we're getting one of these quarterbacks. We're getting someone, because Spencer Rattler, I could be very wrong. I hope I am, but I just never believed him in college, and I don't believe him in the NFL. But that's just me. Or you just keep Derek Carr or Spencer Rattler or someone, tank, and go get Archie Manning when you can next year or the year after or whatever. Running backs, Saquon. So talking about, I didn't want to make a whole separate video about this. So like Saquon is not going to get his record because they're sitting him. I think that's lame as hell. And I think I can understand he's like 200 plus yards away from the record. I can understand that. This game means nothing. It's against a team that tackles really hard and wants to win, even though they shouldn't want to win. And look what they did with the Colts. Like, it could be dangerous and all that stuff. If I'm Saquon, I gave you 300 and something plus yards. I gave you all these 300 something yards. I gave you 3,000, wherever the record, wherever he has, I said 3,000, 2,000 something, right? I gave you all those yards. These last 101 yards is for me. Let me get this. This is history stuff. Yes, could he get injured? 100%. It would suck, and then Sirianni, everyone will be blamed. I think that's dumb, and I think it's football, and he could get, God forbid, he can get injured the first play of the game in the playoff. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers last season got injured the second play or whatever in the fucking season, in the literal season. Shit happens. But 101 yards, man. If Saquon, the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl, especially the Eagles didn't even touch the Super Bowl, man, he's gonna regret. A lot of people in this organization is gonna regret not getting him this record. And honestly, I can see Sirianni being fired. I really can see, not just because of the record, but just because, okay, we haven't been in the Super Bowl in a minute. I don't really like your play call. I don't really like the culture. I don't really like what's going on. We have a very talented team with a finite window. I do not want to waste this. We need to get the ship right. And in my opinion, the NFL, there are some legitimate head coaches in this new hiring cycle that I would definitely call upon. I still think Mike Vrabel will be a head coach next season. So there's that. Jonathan Taylor with the Colts. I don't know how I feel. That Colts team is very unserious, and I don't know. I didn't really watch too many of their games, but if Jonathan Taylor had a good season, I can understand. But otherwise, team-wise, I don't like anybody from that team making the Pro Bowl. I'm not a fan of that team. Josh Jacobs doing great things for the Packers. Obviously, Derrick Henry. Wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Jay Jettas, of course. CeeDee Lamb, injured, I believe, but out for the season, of course. But I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the league. It's not even close, and the Cowboys are going to waste him, and it really sucks. Terry McLaurin, super happy for him. Amon-Ra St. Brown, very happy for him, very deserving. One of the toughest receivers out there, one of the best. Jamar Chase is the best receiver in the NFL. It's not Justin Jefferson. And that's no knock, because it's really 1A, 1B to me. But Jamar Chase is just, I mean, he could potentially get a triple crown. Jamar Chase. Nico Collins. Nico Collins is super underrated in that Texans offense. Zay Flowers. I'm super happy for Zay Flowers. I met Zay Flowers last summer. And he was really cool. Gave me one of the best autographs. I like his autograph that he gave me on the car. I forgot about to have a photo of it or not, but I did make a video of it, short or something. So go check that out. But if you want to see the card, but it's an amazing auto, like a 10-10 auto. It was super cool, and Zay Flowers was super nice. And he did tell me, I was like, man, how's it feel to have Derrick Henry in the squad? Like, how you feel about the season upcoming, this current season? And he said, man, I'm excited and we ready. I've talked to him a little bit. We ready. And I was like, oh, that's a bet. And listen, he was ready. And he put on pounds, bro. I was like, oh, Zay Flowers ready for the season. So that was tough. And Jared Jeudy, shout out to Jared Jeudy. You know, what happened with him and Steve Smith last season when he was on the Broncos still, and see him on the Browns and do his thing and make the Pro Bowl. I honestly think that's really cool. And that's kind of stuff I like about the Pro Bowl. The thing I like about the Pro Bowl is that you get situations where things like that happen, where you go from a team where you're supposed to be the chosen one, then they trade you for, you know, the chum bucket secret formula, and you know you're on another team that's not that good, but yet you still shine, you still do the thing, you still become the number one option, and you get a Pro Bowl selection. I think that's what's really cool about the Pro Bowl selection, and why it means something. It should mean something to players and coaches. So I really like that. The Ravens had 9 Pro Bowlers, and I think that's awesome. And I think it's well deserved, bro. Marlon Humphreys is having an amazing season. Marlo is one of the best, if not the best, cornerback in the league. I mean, Pat Surtain's up there, but Marlon Humphrey, man, I don't really know who's in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. Once we find out those, I'll make a video on that. But Marlo should be up there with the thing. He should be he's top 3 in the DPOY conversations, in my opinion. I know they're going to throw TJ Watt in there, and I get it, but I don't think TJ Watt should even be close to winning it this season. I think Marlo should be up there, and I think so far, with one more game to go, I think Marlo should win Defensive Player of the Year. But I do need to see the other selection, because I'm probably forgetting some people. But 9, I mean, Roquan Smith, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. I mean, it's looking good. And it sucks because people are already using this as a Lamar Jackson has all these weapons, and Joe Burrow only he has all these weapons. He has 9 Pro Bowlers on his team, while the Buffaloes have this many, and then the Bengals and Joe Burrow only have this many. It's like, what does it have to do with anything? I just don't understand why every single time, bro. Like people are acting like Josh Allen's never played with Pro Bowl, All Pro talent on his team. It's not Eric DeCosta's fault that he's just a damn good GM, and that Ravens organization is very, very well ran, because the Ravens gave up a lot of pieces. They lost a lot of pieces. They lost Geno Stone. They lost Patrick Queen. They lost a lot of pieces, a lot of players, and yet they're still in this conversation. They still have 9 Pro Bowlers. That just tells you that Eric DeCosta knows what he's doing. And there's an award at the end of the season for Best GM. I honestly have to give it to him, because he lost all those pieces and came back, used the money to restructure stuff, got Lamar paid, and then lost a lot of pieces, and they're still in position to be in the playoffs and go for the NFC North title. Shout out to him. So yeah, let me know if your team got any pro. I mean, unless you're the Saints fan. If you're a Saints fan, there's nothing else I can tell you. I think I already said it. Go get clean house, trade some assets and picks, go get yourself a quarterback, or go get yourself some high talent. Wait for Arch Manning or one of those other players next season. Maybe Q and Ewers in 2 years, or not this coming draft, but the next draft after that. Or you can save up later in the draft and go get Jackson Dart, like the Giants probably have to do. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share. Tell me what you think about the Pro Bowl, and I'll see you in the next one.